This is a system, not a pep talk. I'm overriding because of what I'm about to demonstrate. You change the way your brain reacts. When under attack, you'll cease pleading for peace. You'll begin to act as a strategist. This doesn't improve your ability to handle disorder, dealing with emotions, to which it renders you resistant. Once you cross into a state of emotional collapse, this line cannot be returned to its original state. You become the... Before we start to understand this, there must be a storm. This movie is educational, not fun. Psychological warfare divided into 3 categories. In the first part, we unveil a brain in its different stages. The hack was created for a single occasion only, the moment before your mind gives up, in the midst of a collapse. Not when everything is quiet. When most people break down and the secrets will be revealed in the second installment of Evolve. The price of becoming emotionally indestructible. The cautions that are never mentioned to you. A combination of excessive and insufficient strength. 3 will demonstrate to you how to transport electricity without losing the last pieces of your humanity. You have been forewarned. Remain till... Let's start there. You should either watch till the end or not at all. Take a break. When your thoughts are either collapsing or mid-sea collapse, it rebuilds itself, which is when this brain trick was created, because it goes by the name of cognitive reframing, one of the rarest and under attack, the most lethal mental weapons one may employ. This is not your average thought, so develop it. It doesn't deal with favorable trash. It's all about acting like everything is okay. When your perception is weaponized, most people believe that everything is collapsing. They take the hit of pain and absorb it. They drown in it and become it. But the mind, which has been taught to reframe things, transforms them, transforming pain into strength in real time. Not why is it this happening to me, but which part of me, rather than this broken, is being reforged by this me. But it showed who I really am. Let's see what. If not, I can't tolerate this. Here's how this happens. I become as a result of it. The things that your mind is not responding to. The world in which you are responding to the tale. Narrate about it. Alter the plot. Change. The result reframes the experience, and this is not the point at which pain turns into purpose. You are suppressing it, transforming it, without disputing the wound you are inflicting on it. The path you are not numbing out. This is tuning in with uncompromising clarity. The basis of superhuman power is this. You stop playing when you stop spinning. The person you're begging life to be. Easier, and begin insisting that you become more difficult to break. And when that happens, outside of yourself, nothing has any power. Since the war is over, relies just on what strikes you. Here are 5 exercises you can do with it. You're not responding to life. Rather, you're mastering this mental trick. Practicing it allows one to create a strategy, psychological pre-response library. Therefore, you're already prepared for when the real pressure arrives. The brain doesn't live it in your mind. Make a clear distinction between imagined, genuine experience, and experience. Seeing severe stress situations while in a composed, grounded attitude develops. New neurological understanding that familiarity lowers the risk of shock, panic, and hesitation when the real thing strikes. Select the weakest point in your emotional armor. Someone's open rejection of a public failure. You appreciate betrayal from someone you have faith in. After that, enter the most powerful version of yourself. Picture them facing that. Right now, what is their stance? What emotion does their internal discourse convey? They enable what they overpower you with, so that you may train your emotional immune system. Don't let pain break you. We don't get ready for the fight when we activate. Before it occurs, before you're triggered, before you pause, we become it. Do nothing and say nothing since you're weak because you're studying. Since you're opting for delayed, command over reflex actions. Reacting emotionally grants power to The exact instant that this behavior begins, the emotional core of the limbic system to the decision-making center of the prefrontal cortex, you are establishing inner distance, a break between stimulus and response. Where control lives, choose 3 micro. There are times when someone interrupts you every day. A coworker disses someone you care about. In such times, it let you down. Simply flinch. Don't express anything. Don't defend yourself. Quietly conscious, you make mental notes. You, emotionally and strategically. Calm, deliberate response. Several hours later. Surgical, as it is emotionally constructed. Psychological intimidation. Invisibility. You turn unpredictable and, in this case, dominance terms do not serve as affirmations. Rather, unpredictability is what reigns. They are orders that you don't speak aloud. Say them aloud to program your emotions. The underlying operating system in distress. Repetition makes you believe, particularly when you repeat a lesson, you encounter adversity. When you are under pressure, your mind connects phrases. That term to eventually mean survival. A phrase becomes a catalyst for authority rather than power. In a panic, pick one statement and say it when you're exhausted, nervous, and no feelings, no respect, no acceptance. I am not under the sway of my discomfort, but rather under the sway of my control. In response, I'm revising the text over time. Instinct is the result of a phrase becoming instinct, more powerful than thought. When someone acts on impulse, they are engaging in emotional sabotage. Your strategic delay is masked when your brain is rewired. Decision-making mechanism by compelling for the mind to hold off until the emotion has subsided. Powerful emotion. Clouds. Executive. Waiting 24 hours allows you so that your brain has time to adjust. Strategy determines the choice, not anything else. Whenever you feel like shooting off chemistry, out of fear, a rage text, quit something. Surrender. Make a spectacular exit. Temptation or pride that causes you to behave in an uncharacteristic manner. The paper that you allowed time to erase. Then you hit or walk in an emotional haze. The foundation of absolute clarity. Impulse control over time. The psychological dominance others experience, but don't. Choose one of the emotions you've experienced. Been eating like a deity before stopping. No expression, no indulgence, nothing. Simply a cold and clear denial. Excessive emotions turn into emotionality. Parasites that you believe you are experiencing, even if they are actually feeding on you by your addiction is revealed when you fast. Regain control of your emotions by choosing the one that has a sense of guilt, uncertainty, and rage towards you. When it has a validation hunger for 7 days, observe it, rise, reject it, and refrain from taking action. Don't try to justify it. Just don't feed it. Make a journal entry of what it says and what it wants you to do. By day 7, you should have accomplished the opposite. You'll see that it was never a part of it was currently consuming your power. You're not an idiot if you own it or if it dies. What if all you're doing is using outdated software? I told you that your intellect may be reprogrammed into, enhanced, and sharpened. Anything that is cold, effective, unwavering, and how well you comprehend manipulation. Convert it into a weapon from scratch. That is just what silent domination is all about. Whisper intelligence that is both secret and merciless, as well as, inside, there was a setup for manipulation. The life-changing book you're about to read, The Mind Fortress Approach to Acquire Complete Mastery Over One's Mind, Even in the Midst of Mayhem. To have command of mental manipulation, people, discussions, and perception. The neuro-essentialist theory of intelligence. Update that eliminates emotion. The ultimate transcendence of interference. Where your mind progresses beyond human. The training they gave you react emotionally to a plea for reasoning, rather than possessing it. But that's over now. The moment has come for us to be really hazardous. The link to read it now intelligently is in the... This is psychological warfare, in my opinion. Every practice exists to sculpt conditioning. Under pressure, a fresh identity that doesn't beg for emotional security, but establishes clarity in a chaotic situation that you are not. Practice to stay alive in a storm you're experiencing, training on how to construct them and walk through them. Others, like wind, are reclaiming the, not bestowing the throne inside your head upon it, not giving your trauma to you, not renting it out to others is a habit. The approval of the public, since it is inhumane. Feeling less does not make you stronger. Owning your emotions at that time is where it originates. Weaponizing. It was the initial victim of extreme. Resilience is memory, not weakness. The more powerful you become, the simpler it becomes. Allows you to forget about your previous pain. Forget how painful it was for you, and forget what happened. You forget what it cost you to live, to be gentle and quiet. That forgetfulness it causes, together with breathing, produces empathy blind spots in the leadership in your relationships stops. Pertaining to when you begin to evaluate what you see. Individuals who are cracking up and wondering, why? Isn't it possible for them to simply stand up? However, you've had forgotten what it felt like to crawl, and if you also overlook the fact that you will become too long, the exact thing that previously caused your demise, but this time in your face when you never exhibit any signs of weakness to others. They stop telling you the truth and start to fear you, follow your commands, and project yourself onto you. Turn into a projection screen for power rather than something else. The snare is this: a human being. No opposition at first, no good, no mess, but vulnerability over time. That the first step in controlling you is to isolate you from. No one questions the authenticity of the feedback you provide. Nobody tells you what to do. No one monitors you. All you need to know is what they think. If you want to, and there are no safeguards, you transform. You don't become wise. The more you fortify yourself, the more untouchable and ultimately unteachable you become. You are not just protecting yourself from pain, but from connection. You stop letting those closest to you should no longer be allowed to see. You get stronger over time. However, time but no cracks in strength is a wall doesn't merely protect from danger. It also has a wall. You'll begin by keeping everything out, observing some unusual conversations. Experience a sense of closeness at the surface level. A weak vulnerability feels like a risk to your identity over time. You will be in the midst of silence, not because there's no one speaking, but because, since you quit, allowing anybody, regardless of whether the last battle is outside or inside, it is still a battle, internal after you've disciplined your thoughts, to remain firm after you've stopped reacting, stopped explaining, requiring you to be in a terrible location. You can't be broken, but neither can you be moved. Either you've constructed walls that are so high that not even you can't hear the echo of your own soul. This stage starts inside of that, since genuine proficiency is not merely it's getting through the pressure, it's getting through your possessing one's own strength without allowing it to obliterate one's history. Anyone can become strong. You are made human. When they despise weakness but to endure, humane. When you no longer have to be, that is something completely different, where the best are distinguished from the ghosts. So let's start over and build a map that is one that maintains the strength of your spine and your heart. You have trained to override your whole self. Pain you've reframed, feelings you've experienced. While some responses were silenced, this is the reality. Unfiltered emotion is the adversary. Emotions are conveyed through unconscious feelings. Data obtained when you kill them. The signal is lost entirely when you... The objective now is to communicate the message amid the chaos, is to listen without feeling compelled to obey. Allow sorrow to whisper aloud without tumbling. Allow rage to express your fears, but never give them the microphone. Now that you are the translator, operate the vehicle. You get the meaning, not the, "This is insanity that cannot be discussed." Expect to stay and be tough everywhere. All of the world will be clamoring for your advantage. However, there should be one place where your soul can be free. A blade that might be may be put down. The journal in which your spouse observes you. A meditation in ink where the mask bleeds. Comes off a moment with your younger. That area is sacred to me because I maintain my silence. It's not a sign of weakness. It's your return point. The proof that you're still in there. Beneath the armor sense, if you don't, choose the spot where your thoughts will be gentle. Forget how to be, and gentleness. When anything that constituted the dies also dies, worth the effort. You become the victim of the trick in its most understated form. Then begin by being resistant to manipulation. To make you quiet in order to avoid being manipulated. Then, as a weapon, chaos begins to employ quiet. The weapon you train yourself to stay away from. Pain, then start inflicting suffering on people who haven't deserved it. The threat that lies in their scars. You become the thing you had to be. It lives, but it now has your face. It currently calls itself by your name. Why am I saying that? Ask yourself if you're growing. The person I'm attempting to manage is this, right? Am I currently fostering obedience or clarity? Because you can prevail in every debate and do it anyway, and risk losing your soul. You must do it if nobody can stop you. When you can justify it, stop yourself. Whatever you need, anything higher than to input your code, let your ego respond. This is your unshakable inner law. Regulations that you create when you have a clear mind. To prevent yourself from betraying them when your ego, if it's loud, it should be precise and cruel. Individual cases I don't penalize. The others I never talk to because of my history. Only to demonstrate that I don't lie, I have control. Feelings to influence connection. This is the game I lose if I lose empathy. Your leash on the ground, your compass in shambles. Attach your tether to the element of yourself that you want to tame, which recalls the objective without it. Power will result from the strength of the code. That addiction, it never ends. You may not be able to clean this further, live alone forever, because regardless of how you develop a strong desire to be human, what is seen does not perish. Rather, it becomes less noisy, quieter, until it turns into a silent shout. For this reason, you should look for the unusual. People who aren't afraid of your silence. Those who don't cower when you don't. React individuals who question your ideas. Those who see it, even if it doesn't require repair. Your ability while maintaining eye contact. Those individuals whose eyes they treat as if they were equal. They won't allow you to temper, but you must. Or you just vanish. And that's when you rediscover yourself, not in the audience was in real life, not in the applause. Unfiltered awareness of the connection that doesn't. You must be humanly weak in order to be honest, human, who you may rule over or dominate, can go into any room and take charge of the cotters. Energy, but you'll lose if you lose presence. Just don't think about the reason you established any of it presence. It's not about feelings, it's about understanding. The side of you that is genuinely present and alert at this moment. A portion of your mind that recalls your emotions, who you were before the numbness. The reason you began this trip in the first place was because of the quiet. First off, presence is the beat. Keep it alive beneath the armor. Or here is the armor itself as it has become. You've gained the strength. Now build the discipline to wield it like a weapon rather than a tool. Keep your wits about you and wear it like a mask. Stay carefully and precisely, but never stop. Because purposefully being human, being cool under pressure, is not the only aspect of power. It's choosing to be warm, even now. The real monster is untouchable. The true master is that one